Hello, I'm Fiona Peart and I'd like to show you a simple way of painting freesias. Now freesias are beautiful spring flowers. This technique is using a round brush and it really is, the brush is going to paint the picture for me. It's so simple. I've got my line drawing in water-soluble pencil. I haven't used a graphite pencil and I'm going to have two brushes, both my round brushes. One for the green and one for the purples and the pinks. So I'm going to use a combination. There's two greens. I'm using Sunlit Green. This is a really bright spring colour. And then in the tip of the brush, I'm going to use Country Olive. These colours are both Terry Harrison colours. Lovely, lovely colours. So here we go. There's our two greens. So I'm just going to scoop through that lovely bright colour. And then the point of my brush, as we come down the stems, I'm going to use the darker colour. So let's just do the buds first. So all I'm going to do with my round brush is I'm just going to place the brush. There's my first little bud. Easy. Little stem with the point of the brush, just a tiny little stem. Then I'm just going to place the brush and lift it. Then a little stem. And then just place the brush and lift it. Lovely. Now I want a little bit of a brighter colour. So press the brush, lift it. And now we're starting to get the flowers just appearing by the time you get to the fourth or the fifth flower. So I'm then going to keep this brush with my green, but on my other tile, or my other palette, I'm going to use a little bit of Bluebell. Again, this is the Terry Harrison colour, it's a lovely colour. A little bit of Bluebell on my tile. And just clean my brush out. And the Permanent Wild Rose, which is again another Terry Harrison colour. They're lovely, vibrant colours. So there's my pink, and then into the tip of my pink I've got purple. And then all I'm going to do is, that's going to be my first bud. I'm going to barely touch the paper. My next bud. Then I'm going to have a slightly bigger bud. So press the brush down, the whole brush, and then lift it. And then another little petal here, just touch it gently. So those are my next three flowers. So the brush with the pinks and the bluebell is going to sit there, ready. And this is the brush with my green paint. It's just easier than continually mixing, and it means the next flower is going to be consistent with that mix. So we're going to hug this colour, so just press the brush onto the paper, lift it, put the little stem in, and then just press the brush. Let it catch. You do want the colours to blend. Let it catch. Another little stem. Then we're on to the next one. So press the brush, roll it into the colour and scoop the two colours together. So I've got two colours in the brush. Then I'm just going to place the brush. You've almost got that lovely shape look for you. And then just link it up. God, I tell you, this is so simple, isn't it? It's great fun. What you will be doing this, you will not be able to contain yourself. So easy. Right, so we've got another flower here opening. So if we were to start with the green and then put the flower onto it, it wouldn't look as good. So we put the flower and then we attach the green. So we've got our green ready. Back to our pink. So scoop up the pink. Let's just get a little bit more pink on the brush. Stronger colours because it's a bigger flower. Strong colour and then the bluebell. So those are my two colours. Now we've got a petal here, so I'm going to flatten, the whole brush is now flat onto the paper. And then as I lift it, I have a narrower shape. Press the brush, you've got another little narrow shape, press the whole brush. Then we've got a petal coming in here, so I'm going to lean with my little finger, barely touch the paper, press it in, and there's my flower shape. Back to my green. Scoop up the green, just place the brush onto the paper so it just attaches, place the brush, and then we'll just bring that shape round. Right, the next flower, it's a little bit more open. So what have I got on my brush? That's probably not pink enough, so I'm just going to get a little bit more pink. So I want the base colour to be pink. Now this one, let's have this even more pink. So just the tiniest bit of bluebell on the end. We'll start with that back petal. We'll just press the brush into the centre. That's nice, we've got a lot of pink on there. Just scoop into the bluebell press the whole brush, so the whole brush flat. And then as I start to come to the bottom of the flower, I'm just going to lift the brush so it's a thinner stroke. A little bit more pigment, a little bit of bluebell on the tip, another petal here, press the brush and pull it in. So we've got our 3 petals and it'll all link together. In fact, what I'd quite like to do is, because you can go over the top again, just bring the other petal in so you can see those 3 petals. I like that. Then into the green again, scoop the 2 colours. I'm going to get just a little bit more of the country olive, just a little bit. Such a lovely natural colour this. You can mix greens, but this is just an easy way. Just place the brush, let it catch that colour, place the brush, and then the stem. We're just going to bring that down. Then we've got a little kind of bud here. Place the brush and then lift it. And then you're just going to bring the brush down. Ever so simple. And that's our first flower. So the second flower. Now I've deliberately done this the other way around because it's funny, but right-handed people tend to like to paint in a certain way and left-handed people, but it doesn't matter which way you do it. So we're just going to place the brush, that's our first little bud, and this one, I want this flower to look like it's more kind of coming towards us. So the gaps are not going to be so long, which means I've got to press the brush and then just bring the shape in, press the brush, bring it in. There's the tiny, you can see the tiny little shapes appearing. Then the pink. Now the pink is just starting here, so I just want, and I'm not going to place a shape that way. I want it to be that way because of the shape of the flower. So it means I've either got to turn the paper upside down, which I'm not going to do, or I can use what's called an inverted brush. So I just place the brush, and again here I'm just going to place the brush. So we've got our 2 little buds. Right, that's a nice little shape that all links up. Now we've got another bud here, so back to our pink. I'm just going to get a little bit more pink on the brush. Dip in the tiniest amount of bluebell. This bud is going to be here, and this one, I'm going to put a little one there. And then we'll have a bigger bud, which we'll just put at the same time. A bit more of the blue going on. Press the whole brush, so the whole brush now is flat onto the paper. So as I now lift that stroke, I'll get a lovely sort of shape. But let's add a petal. So this time I'm going to barely press the brush at all. And that's my thin petal. Looking nice. Back to my green. So we want to link these. I don't want this to dry. So let's get a petal there. Just link that. Oh, that's nice. And another little one here. This one's being cupped really. So we just, you'll see it just links. It's just lovely to do. Nice if you've got the real flower in front of you, but you don't have to have it as long as you've got your drawing. And this is just a drawing. I did draw this from a real flower, and then I've used the sketch time and time again. So sketchbooks are really, really vital. Got a lovely open flower here. So into my pink again. Let's make this nice and bright. And of course you can use yellows, peach colours, any colours you like, any colours that the freesias are really. So press the whole brush. So this one we're going to have a petal coming this way as well, and then we want another petal here. I'm going to have one in the background. We'll just imply that. Then I want to dip a little bit of purple in, so this is going to be a slightly darker shape, and it's going to come into the front. Press the whole thing. It's going to come down like that. So I quite like that. That's a nice shape. So press the brush, and you've got a little stalk in there somewhere. It's probably at the back. And then we've got kind of a little stalk coming in here. And then press the brush onto the paper and lift it. We've got a little stalk here. Now how easy was that? Freesias, using just a traditional classic round brush. It should be a natural haired brush. Mine's called a classic. It is a natural haired squirrel brush. This doesn't work as well with a synthetic brush, but it's brilliant with a natural haired brush. So I hope you'll have a go at doing this. I hope I've inspired you to use the brush, let the brush do the work for you, and just enjoy your watercolour.